What's up, Team DaddyOFive?
The story of a family who may have taken their pursuit of social media fame and fortune too far.
As you all know, we had a channel which was called DaddyOFive. This is the one and only video I'm making on the frickin' people saying shit about Cody and Emma.
What is wrong with your head?
Many years ago, I did a few videos looking into the YouTuber family DaddyOFive. I'm talking about so far back into the past that this is like when I would put on this weird fake deep voice for some reason. And I'm pretty sure within the next month, I'll be down to about 15 people actually watching my videos. And I did a video just last year on this channel talking about where are they now, but there's been a lot of updates. So one thing you might have noticed with quite a lot of YouTuber families, not all of them, but a large amount of them, is behind closed doors, they're a little bit dysfunctional. They don't really get along that well. Also, I do want to say we've got some brand new exclusive merch. The Camp Pyro collection comes with a tee and it comes with a cap, has some nice little arm designs as well. Once these are gone, they will never come back. Probably. I mean, to be fair, if you're a kid growing up and you're just having like a phone camera pointed in front of your face every day while your mom and dad try and vlog you for YouTube money, it feels that growing up can be a little bit odd. And this was one of the biggest channels on YouTube, DaddyOFive, or they were also called, I think, FamilyOFive. Now, if you don't know who these people are, holy, you are new gen. Did you just, are you playing Fortnite on the other monitor while watching this video? But here's a picture of the family. We have Michael Martin, his wife Heather, who basically ran the channel, and then their 5 children. I gotta sneeze. It's like all the horrible memories of the DaddyOFive channel of they're just coming back and filling up my sinuses. Now, their content originally was disturbing, to say the least. They would do a variety of pranks. Notice how I said pranks in quotation marks. Now, one thing I do want to say, a lot of these pranks that were happening in, like, 2015, 2016, they weren't really pranks. It was just, someone going out in public and being as much of an asshole as possible. I did loads of videos talking about, Joey Salads. A good one, actually, is Sam Pepper. You might remember this prank. This is an OG one. But basically, they pretended to kidnap their friend, and then they were going to murder him to the point that he's like screaming and crying. Obviously, it was like all staged for YouTube views, but again, like, where's the prank? Where's the funny? And also, that being said, you do have like current generation pranks, like for example, Mizzy, who I talked about a couple of times, and he would basically just walk into people's homes when their kids were home, because that's laugh out loud hilarious. Lamau, why aren't you laughing?
James?
Wait, this is not what the study group is.
Kids, man.
Oh, you got kids? Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought this was a study group. I actually thought.
Now, DaddyOFive really stood out because his pranks weren't just unfunny. It was legitimate mental abuse towards his children. Now, out of all the kids, the one that became the most infamous is Cody, the one with the glasses, because he was basically the butt of the joke to pretty much every single prank video. Like, he would have meltdowns, he'd be screaming, he'd be crying, and then, the parents would basically just be thinking, okay, wait. Can you cry a bit more? Can you cry a bit more, son? We've nearly got $3 CPM. We might get a Nord sponsor. Now, I covered these channels and the videos did pretty well. I was a pretty big deal at the time, but one of the biggest YouTubers to actually break the story was Philip DeFranco. He published a lot of videos as well, and I do love, you've got these videos of like serious allegations of abuse, and you just got like, Philip DeFranco at the front, like, this is actually all about me. Like, to be fair, I'm making a joke about that, but have you seen like the Pyrocynical TV channel? The thumbnails I do there, it's just like soy faces. Now, Child Protective Services, CPS, were called multiple times. And after doing a little bit of digging, they actually found out that Emma and Cody, the kids, were actually from a previous marriage. And thankfully, this got enough interest that the birth mother was able to get involved and basically, take the kids away from such an abusive household. So Martin and Heather, the parents, the masterminds behind DaddyOFive, basically got charged with 5 years probation for child neglect. So no, despite many people thinking at the time, they never actually saw a jail cell. And then after this happened, which was many years ago, they disappeared, like completely vanished off the face of the earth. And again, I covered them a year ago where I saw like some videos reposted of like, them possibly moving to a new house. Some of the kids have gotten older, but I actually didn't hear a single thing about them until, again, beautiful app that is called TikTok. And I was scrolling at 3 in the morning and I think I found their TikTok account and they're trying to become TikTokers now. So I found this TikTok and it was posted by Baby Don. I did a little bit of sitting down and thinking, it's like, how is this DaddyOFive? Well, I remembered. Do you remember the second Harry Potter film where Voldemort basically spells out, Tom Marvolo Riddle, and it becomes the anagram of I am Lord Voldemort? That's exactly what it is. It is basically a sleeper account. So who is Baby Don? Baby Don is actually Jake, who was the oldest sibling out of the DaddyOFive family. And it actually seems now that he's made a name for himself making music, because if you don't end up becoming a YouTuber, you become a SoundCloud rapper. So at the minute, he's made a music video called In My Head, where he's basically rapping with, you know, the family and stuff, with Martin, with Heather, almost looking back upon their childhood like it was full of like laughter and joy, when, as I've pointed out multiple times in the DaddyOFive saga, that is definitely not the case. Now, the music itself is, it's definitely the music of all time. Top comment at the minute, W on using your traumatized siblings for more clicks. So then he thought, okay, I posted some music, some people liked it. What do I do next? Let me involve my dad. Now, this was a very, very dangerous move, because as you can imagine, a lot of people started to look into it, and a lot of people actually remembered, hey, you're that guy from like 5, 6, 7 years ago, and you like abusing your kids. What was up with that? That's kind of cringe. Now, there is actually a TikTok that is pinned on his page at the minute where he gives his timeline of events of what happened throughout the years.
As you all know, I'm from a YouTube channel called DaddyOFive. The most commented thing is, where is Cody? Where is Emma? Where are my step siblings? The kids were not taken because of the videos. The kids were not taken by CPS. The kids weren't taken by anybody. They weren't taken at all.
He went on to say that Child Protective Services didn't actually take their kids in, but instead their mother actually received an emergency custody order. And then also going on to say that they basically went into foster care afterwards. But they probably realized that having these kids under our roof after everything we put them through probably isn't the best idea.
Their biological mother got an emergency custody order. And as you know, if you're a parent, anybody can go to the courthouse and say something's going on and get emergency custody for 1 week. And then eventually, after everything, the investigation, when they said, okay, nothing terrible was going on, the court actually tried to send them back with us. But it already has been a year at that point. Readjusting, instead of having to relive everything that went on, they just decided they were just going to keep it the way it was, and it was going to be that.
Now, obviously, I do want to say that this seems to be a very, very biased opinion on events. Because sure, I mean, it's possible that Cody and Emma's birth mother wasn't a good fit for them. But regardless, they are safe now, and that's really all that matters at the end of the day. Now, another thing I noticed is they actually came back onto YouTube, because if you remember, I think YouTube pretty much banned them, or they deleted all of their videos themselves, because obviously everyone on the internet absolutely despised these people for how they treated their kids. But they seem to have actually rebranded their channel now to basically just go on about content from their childhood. The channel's here, it's called the Martin family, and it says, yes, we are the DaddyOFive kids, but we aren't kids anymore. Now, the comments under these videos, as you can imagine, are like comedically mixed. You know, some people say that they've changed and it was years ago, while others are just, you know, totally opposite on the spectrum. And it's like, hey, your parents kind of sucked, bro. But it is really weird to see that, like, Martin, of all people, the dad who gave people like Cody the most amount of abuse, he's came back onto YouTube, and it really just seems like, you know, people are just welcoming him back. To be fair, I do have to say they did make like an extensive apology video when all of this happened. At the time, they did a statement that obviously everyone, you know, basically just disagreed with. You know, the funny Fallout 4 meme, the corner of the screen, where it's like, you know, everyone disliked that. Now, looking at the majority of their content here, you can basically see that it just seems to be mostly the dad, and then his youngest kid, Mikey, who I think at the time was basically just like an actual fetus, but is now like, you know, like a 7, 8-year-old kid. And the content itself seems pretty wholesome. I've gone through a couple of videos that there doesn't seem to be kind of any underlying like abuse or anything like that. He genuinely might have learned like the error of his ways, but obviously, again, like I said, that really doesn't stop, you know, YouTube commenters and stuff, because if you go into the comment sections, you can just see people absolutely tearing the guy apart, you know, saying, we all know what you did, you need to be grounded for life part 2. But then you've got other people saying they just need to, you know, let them live their life. So yeah, it's a difficult one, because obviously he did some really, but the family in general did some really bad stuff. They were exploiting their kids for money, for views, for content, and they only really stopped and learned that what they were doing was bad when the police got involved, and when like YouTubers basically made videos like exposing them. But yeah, it's kind of one of those that, do they deserve to be forgiven, or do they just, you know, deserve to be memed on forever? Because obviously a lot of the kids have grown up now, some of them are even adults. What's my take on the entire situation? My name's Jeff.